What is going on YouTube? June here, and I'm back again with another Idols Heroes video. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at the Void Ark, but more specifically, how should we be moving through the sectors?
Got that June, got the shoe. Got that June, got the June. Got that.
So I think the first concept I want to go over is open information. Open information just means it's going to probably make your decision making way easier. The more information you have, you use that information and then you go, okay, I know this stuff, so let's try to make a decision based on what is given to me. And what the devs have given us here is the location of every single void load on the map. And the void load is arguably the best spot to get to on the map because you're going to get a lot of Innova crystals, decent amount of these ingots, as well as some exploration points. So you want to target these void loads as much as possible. There's a couple things we want to mention here, and that is one, you're going to be limited by the amount of void loads you can actually go and explore because you need collectors to go there. So if we take a look at this void load where I've sent my ticks, I had to use one collector just to send them out there. So you can't just go around the map just hitting like 10 a day because you're not going to have enough collectors, at least not yet. If you upgrade your collector workshop to level 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and beyond, you're most likely going to be able to do many of these in a given day. But currently where we are at the start of the Void Ark content, we only have level 1 workshops, and if you upgraded it, you're at level 2, which means the cooldown is only 9 hours for one collector, which means in 24 hours you aren't going to get more than 2. So with that information, we can see that we only want to target 2, at most 3 of these void loads in any given day. Doing any more than that is just going to waste movement, and you're going to have a node that's open, but you're actually not going to be able to send anyone there. Now that's not the end of the world if it doesn't hamper your progress exploring other regions of the map, so do keep that in mind. You don't want to go around the map opening a bunch of void loads because you're not going to be able to maximize your movement, because if you have too many open, again, you won't be able to explore any further. And one thing you want to keep in mind here is that you want to maximize the amount of collectors you're using a day, which in other words just means get as many of these void loads done as possible, because collectors and void loads go hand in hand. But you also want to maximize the amount of heroes you're sending out. You don't want to be in a position where you opened up a bunch of void loads but you don't have any collectors left, so you have, let's say, 5 of these open for some reason, but again, you only have 2 or 3 collectors. So that means you're going to have a bunch of dead ends and you're not going to be able to send your heroes. So you need to balance the fact that you want to get a bunch of void loads explored every single day, 2 or 3 currently in the game, and you also want to spend 15 heroes, because the maximum amount of explorations you can do in any 24-hour cycle is going to be 15. So it's a balancing act, but hopefully that makes sense. Now back to the void loads. Because we're going to be targeting 2 or 3 every single day, you should be able to find a way to maximize a bit of the movement. And in my case, it just so happened that a lot of the nodes ended up on the left side, these void loads. So when I'm gonna make my push, I'm gonna move to the left first and complete as many as I can on the left hand side of the map, and then near the end of my journey I'm gonna try to complete the ones on the right. Now the reason I say this, and I think it's pretty important to point out, is point 5 in the help section. If you complete a sector with 100% exploration progress, you will earn additional exploration points. So exploration points again is going to be these things. So you get, I think, 1,000 of these exploration points, which is going to help you on the leaderboard. But what's more important about point 5 here is you can also choose to end your current exploration after its progress reaches 90%, but you will not get any rewards by doing this. And the incomplete explorations will be ended. You will not get rewards from them. So at one point during the Void Ark, you're going to be faced with a decision to either end your current expedition, cut your losses, and then restart anew on that day, or you're going to be in a position where you go, I think it's worth it, I'm going to push a little bit more, and we're going to wait it out till we get to 100, so then we complete it, and then we start a new map the next day. The problem with canceling your 90% is that you actually don't get refunded any of the collectors that you used on that day. And this is very important, because if I was to start my journey down the bottom like I already did, but I start going towards the right before going to the left, what's going to probably happen is at the last couple days of my journey, I'm probably going to have a couple too many of these void loads that are again really good locations, but they're going to be held off until the end of my journey. And that means I'm probably going to have to use some collectors to clean up the last little bits and then hit the reset button. And when you hit the reset button, you're not going to get any of the refunds, which means you do get to send your 15 heroes out to explore again on that day. So it's not like your journey is completely over and that day is lost. You don't have to worry about that. When you hit reset, it's going to give you your 15 heroes or however many heroes are out there. They're going to get returned. A new map is going to get generated, and then you're going to be able to send out 15 more heroes. The problem is you're not going to have any of the collectors you used on that day. So you always want to target these void loads early, because you don't know what's going to happen at the end of your journey. You might be lucky and finish at 100%. You might be unlucky and have to kind of cancel your journey early at 90 or 92 or 93%. So because we don't know how the journey is going to end, we can definitely control for the first part of the journey. The first leg of the journey, we can focus all of our efforts, all of our movement, make a good decision, and try to crush as many of these void loads early. That way, near the end, if it really gets tough, we can just hit the cancel button, and hopefully we will keep some of these collectors, so when it restarts and you get to use your heroes right away, you won't be actually limited by not being able to attack these void loads. Because again, even if you're starting brand new, even if you're starting halfway through, even if you just hit the reset button, the void loads are still going to be very important, and you always want to attack them first. So priority number one, always go for the void loads. And there's a lot of reasons to do this, because you don't know where you're going to end up, and at the end you might have to hit that reset button. And when that happens, you want to make sure that maybe you have one of these left over so you can use it in your next expedition. That pretty much wraps up my thoughts on how you should be moving through the Void Ark in the different sectors. Hopefully you guys found that useful. If you did, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Peace.